Have you ever wondered why your life suddenly went quiet? Why people you loved disappeared, why opportunities stopped coming, and why it feels like the world forgot about you? It's not a coincidence. This silence you're living through isn't punishment, it's preparation. When God chooses someone for a divine purpose, the first thing he often does is remove the noise. He pulls you out of crowds, out of comfort, and out of places where your spirit can't grow. He leads you into a season of silence, a season where it's just you and him. This silence is sacred. It's not about being forgotten, it's about being found by God in the quiet. Because in this silence, he can finally speak to you without interruption. You may not hear thunder or see visions, but deep down, your spirit begins to awaken. You start to see that this loneliness isn't emptiness, it's transformation. God hides his chosen ones when he's about to elevate them. Just like a seed must first be buried before it grows, God buries you in silence so your roots can go deep. Every chosen soul must walk through this silent valley. It's not meant to destroy you, it's meant to prepare you for what's coming next. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when God begins to separate you from the people, places, and situations that once felt normal to you. Suddenly, you start losing interest in the things that used to excite you. Conversations that once felt alive now drain your spirit. Friendships begin to fade. Invitations stop coming. You find yourself standing in a space that feels empty, but it's not empty. It's holy ground. God is removing distractions because he wants your undivided attention. You see, when you are surrounded by too many voices, you can't clearly hear his. So he begins to pull you away from the noise. And at first, it hurts. You'll ask yourself, why is everyone leaving me? You'll wonder if you did something wrong. But what's really happening is divine isolation. God himself is handpicking your silence. When God chooses you, he cannot allow you to stay where you were. The crowd cannot understand your calling because it was never revealed to them. They can only see your outer life, but God sees the seed he placed inside you. That seed needs isolation to grow. You're being separated not because you're unworthy, but because you're too valuable to stay among those who can't see your worth. There are people in your life who love the version of you that stays small, the version that doubts itself, that plays safe, that keeps quiet. But God didn't call you to stay small. So he starts removing anyone who can't grow with you. This separation often feels like rejection, but it's actually protection. God sees conversations you never heard, motives you never knew, and traps you couldn't recognize. He's protecting your spirit from environments that could corrupt your destiny. Sometimes he even allows conflict or misunderstanding just so you'll finally walk away from what was never meant to follow you. And the moment you obey that pull, the moment you stop fighting to stay where you no longer belong, something powerful happens. Peace returns. Clarity comes back. You begin to sense God's presence again. When God pulls you away from the crowd, it's not because he's isolating you forever. It's because he's preparing to introduce you to a different kind of people, those who carry light, purpose, and truth. But before you can meet them, you have to walk through the wilderness alone. So don't curse the season of separation. Embrace it. Because every great destiny begins with divine disconnection. Every chosen one must pass through a season where no one understands them, where no one calls, and where life feels frozen in silence. It's the season of isolation, the place where your old identity dies, and your divine identity begins to awaken. This is not a punishment, it's a sacred process. God is stripping away everything that was keeping you tied to a lesser version of yourself. He's cutting off attachments that cannot survive in your next level. Isolation is not God turning his back on you, it's God pulling you close, one-on-one, to train your soul for battle. In this quiet place, he begins to rebuild you from the inside out. The noise of the world fades, and you start to hear his whispers more clearly. You start to recognize the patterns in your own heart, the fears, the doubts, the emotional wounds you used to hide behind activity and company. God brings them to the surface, not to shame you, but to heal you. Because before He can trust you with influence, He has to teach you discipline. Before He can bless you publicly, He must refine you privately. That's why isolation feels like pressure, because it is pressure. It's the heat that transforms raw gold into pure glory. During this time, you might look around and see others advancing, people getting promoted, married, traveling, shining online, and you'll wonder, why not me? But what you don't realize is that God is building something in you that will outlast all of that. While they're chasing visibility, you're being built for longevity. You're being rooted so deeply in purpose that when your time comes, no storm will be able to shake you. You are not behind, you're being prepared. The chosen ones of God are often misunderstood because their growth happens in secret. While others are celebrated on platforms, you're being shaped in the shadows. But the shadow is where God's hand is the strongest. Every tear you cry in the dark is watering the ground of your future. Every lonely night is sharpening your discernment. Every unanswered prayer is teaching you patience. God is not ignoring you, He's developing your spiritual muscles. Isolation builds a kind of strength that can't be taught in public. It teaches you to depend on the invisible, to trust the silence, to walk by faith when there is no evidence. It teaches you how to hear God without confirmation, how to stand tall when no one claps for you, and how to move forward when no one believes in you. This is how warriors are made. This is how prophets are trained. This is how chosen ones are crowned, not in the crowd, but in the cave. So don't despise your isolation. Don't try to escape it too soon. If you walk away before God finishes His work, you'll miss the power that comes from the process. Stay in the fire until the impurities burn away. Stay in the silence until your spirit becomes unshakable. Because when you finally emerge from this isolation, you won't be the same. You'll speak differently. You'll walk differently. You'll carry an authority that only those who have wrestled with God can understand. You'll realize that the solitude that once felt like suffering was actually the sacred womb where your destiny was born. One of the most confusing parts of your spiritual journey as a chosen one is watching people suddenly disappear from your life. Friends you trusted, family members you thought would always be there, relationships you believed were unbreakable, gone. Sometimes they leave quietly. Sometimes they leave with conflict. And sometimes, they just fade away without a word. It hurts, it confuses you, and you start questioning yourself. But listen carefully, their departure was not random. It was divine. God removes people not because they are bad, but because their role in your story is over. He knows who can go with you and who can't. He knows who will carry your spirit higher and who will keep you bound to the past. When your calling begins to expand, your circle must shrink. Everyone can't sit at your next table. Everyone can't breathe the air of your destiny. God sees what you cannot see. He sees the jealousy behind a smile, the secret competition behind a compliment, the doubt behind encouragement. You may not see their true intentions, but He does. That's why He allows separation. Every time someone walks out, it's God clearing the path ahead. When God is preparing to bless you, He exposes hidden hearts. Some people love you only as long as you stay below them. The moment your light starts to shine brighter, they feel threatened. They can't handle the new you that's emerging from isolation. So instead of celebrating you, they distance themselves. Let them. Don't chase what God removed. Don't mourn what was never meant to stay. If they walked away, it's because their presence would have slowed your progress. Remember, Judas had to leave the table before Jesus could complete his mission. Lot had to separate from Abraham before God revealed the promise. Even Joseph had to be sold and separated from his brothers before he could reach the palace. Separation has always been a sign of divine movement. It may look like loss, but it's really promotion. Every disconnection in your life is a form of redirection. God doesn't take without purpose. He subtracts to multiply. You might not understand it now, but one day you'll thank Him for every person who left. Because their absence created space for your anointing to grow. The silence they left behind allowed God's voice to echo louder. The loneliness you feel is the space where heaven is preparing new alliances. So instead of asking, "Why did they leave me?" ask, "Lord, what are you making room for?" Because if they could walk away, they were never tied to your soul. If they betrayed you, it only revealed their true heart. If they forgot you, it only proved that God was the one sustaining you all along. Stop chasing ghosts from past seasons. The people who disappeared were not your loss, they were your liberation. God had to remove them so you could finally see that the only approval you ever needed was His. You're not being abandoned, you're being aligned. Every goodbye is God saying, "I'm about to bring you higher." Every chosen one must walk through a hidden place before they can walk in a public purpose. This hidden place is not glamorous. It's quiet, lonely, and sometimes painful. It's where God hides you while He builds you. You see, before every elevation, there is isolation, and before every crown, there is a cross. The hidden training ground is not a punishment, it's a divine classroom. God takes you away from distractions so He can shape you in silence. You are being trained in ways no one can see. While others are being celebrated, you are being prepared. You are learning lessons that can't be taught through comfort, lessons of endurance, patience, faith, and spiritual warfare. You're learning to pray when you don't feel like it, to trust when nothing makes sense, and to walk even when you can't see the path. God doesn't train His warriors in comfort, He trains them in wilderness. Look at David. Before he was king, he was in the field fighting lions and bears, alone. Before Moses led Israel, he spent 40 years in the desert learning humility. Before Joseph ruled Egypt, he was betrayed, enslaved, and forgotten in prison. The hidden season is where the great ones are born. You may not have a title, followers, or recognition right now, but heaven knows your name. Heaven sees your quiet obedience. Heaven sees the tears you wipe when no one is watching. Heaven hears the prayers you whisper when you feel like giving up. That's why your training ground is sacred, because it's where your roots grow deep enough to hold the weight of your future. In this place, God teaches you spiritual discipline. He'll let doors close to test your faith. He'll allow silence to see if you'll still seek Him. He'll hide blessings to see if you'll keep believing without evidence. Every test is preparing you for leadership. Every disappointment is sharpening your discernment. Every delay is building endurance in your soul. You're not being punished, you're being promoted in secret. The pain you feel is not a sign of failure, it's a sign that God is stretching you. He's pulling you beyond comfort because He knows your potential is far greater than what you see now. The hidden training ground also reveals who you really are. When no one is watching, when there's no applause, when nothing seems to be working, will you still be faithful? Will you still pray? Will you still love others when they don't love you back? This is where your character is purified. This is where your humility is tested. Because before God can trust you with power, He must first teach you surrender. Many want to be used by God, but few want to be processed by Him. That's why the chosen ones are rare. They don't run from the fire, they let it refine them. So if you feel forgotten, overlooked, or hidden, understand this: you're not being buried, you're being planted. The soil is dark, yes, but it's rich. And soon, the roots God is growing in you will break through the ground. The very people who doubted you will witness your transformation. But for now, stay where God has placed you. Embrace the silence, endure the tests, and trust the process. Because when the training is complete, you won't just be anointed, you'll be unstoppable. Your private pain will become public power. Your hidden obedience will become your open reward. Many chosen ones think their isolation is only emotional or situational, but what's really happening is a deep spiritual battle. When God separates you, the enemy panics. Because your silence means transformation. Your loneliness means alignment. Your distance from the world means your connection with heaven is getting stronger. The devil knows that once you fully embrace this solitude, you will become untouchable. That's why he attacks you in this season. That's why your mind feels heavy, your heart feels tired, and your spirit feels attacked. He wants you to believe that you are abandoned, when in truth, you are being armed. You are in the middle of divine warfare. Every doubt, every fear, every anxiety that suddenly appears, it's not random. It's spiritual resistance. The enemy is trying to make you walk away from the very process that's making you powerful. When God begins to elevate you, he also exposes the enemy's strategies. Isolation is where you see who your real enemy is. It's not people. It's not your past. It's the spirit that doesn't want you to grow. It's the darkness that fears your light. It's the forces that once controlled you trying to pull you back into your old habits. The enemy wants you to self-destruct before you step into your destiny. That's why he fills your mind with lies. You're not enough. You're forgotten. You've failed too many times. But those are not your thoughts, they're attacks. The moment you recognize that, you start to fight differently. You stop fighting flesh and start fighting spiritually. You begin to pray with fire, to speak truth over your mind, to reject every dark voice that doesn't align with God's word. During this season, the battle is not around you, it's within you. It's a war between your old self and the version of you that God is calling forth. The old you wants comfort. The new you wants calling. The old you wants validation. The new you wants divine connection. And the battlefield is your mind. That's why the enemy targets your peace. If he can't destroy you, he'll try to distract you. He'll use exhaustion, confusion, and fear to make you question your faith. But remember this, confusion is not from God. Doubt is not from God. The heaviness you feel is the pressure of transformation, not punishment. When you begin to pray even while feeling broken, when you keep praising while tears fall, when you still believe even when nothing changes, that's when hell begins to tremble. Because the enemy realizes you're no longer motivated by circumstances, you're anchored in faith. Your power is growing in silence. You're learning to fight without noise, to stand without approval, to trust without evidence. You're learning spiritual maturity, the kind of strength that no storm can shake. This battle is meant to build your discernment. You'll begin to feel when energy around you shifts. You'll sense when a person's spirit isn't right, even before they speak. You'll recognize darkness not through fear but through spiritual clarity. And this discernment will protect you when you step into your next level. God allows this warfare not to destroy you but to teach you how to win. Because once you've fought in the dark, you'll never fear the light again. Once you've survived the storm, no demon, no hater, no witchcraft can stop you. You'll walk with quiet authority, knowing that greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. So don't be afraid of the warfare in your isolation. It means you're on the right path. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the stronger the resistance becomes. But remember, pressure only increases near the door of destiny. Stand firm. Pray louder. Believe harder. Because the battle you're fighting now is proof that heaven is about to reward you publicly for what you've endured privately. When you finally stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is God trying to teach me?" that's when the purpose of your separation starts to unfold. Everything that looked like loss was actually alignment. Every person that left, every door that closed, every moment that broke your heart, all of it was part of God's divine design. Separation doesn't mean rejection, it means selection. God chose you for something sacred, something different, something rare. He had to pull you away from what was familiar so he could reveal what was eternal. You cannot hear God clearly when you're surrounded by noise, opinions, and chaos. So he isolates you to teach you his language, the language of silence, faith, and discernment. Many chosen ones mistake this season for abandonment because it feels empty. But that emptiness is divine space. God is clearing away everything that blocks his voice. He is detaching you from temporary people so he can attach you to eternal purpose. You might not see it now, but one day you'll realize that everything and everyone who left was making room for what truly belonged to you. The purpose of separation is transformation. God separates before he elevates. He breaks your routine so he can rebuild your reality. He allows confusion to birth clarity. He lets people reject you so you can finally stop seeking human approval and start walking in divine confidence. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. But standing out means standing alone for a while. God will strip away your dependence on others so you can learn to depend on him fully. He'll let certain people misunderstand you so you'll stop explaining yourself and start listening to his voice instead. Every misunderstanding becomes a lesson in trust. Every betrayal becomes a lesson in discernment. Every lonely night becomes a lesson in divine companionship. You start realizing that solitude with God is never isolation, it's invitation. It's God saying, "Come closer, I want to show you who you are without the world's influence." The purpose of the separation is not to punish you for your past but to position you for your purpose. God is resetting your environment to match your destiny. You cannot carry the same habits, same mindset, or same company into your next level. That's why he's removing people you thought you needed. He's forcing you to confront patterns that kept you stuck. He's teaching you to trust your intuition, that quiet voice within that is actually his spirit guiding you. You're learning that not every loss is a curse, some losses are lessons wrapped in grace. The deeper truth is that separation is divine promotion in disguise. God never removes without replacing. But he won't release the new until you let go of the old. You can't receive what's next while holding on to what's gone. The people who walked away were never meant to understand the level you're stepping into. The friends who left couldn't breathe in the spiritual altitude God is taking you to. Let them go with love, but don't go back. You're not being left behind, you're being launched forward. The purpose of your isolation is to make you whole, strong, and spiritually sharp. When this season ends, you'll realize you didn't lose anyone, God was just introducing you to yourself. Solitude is not emptiness, it is the sacred chamber where God performs his greatest work. While the world sees you as alone, heaven sees you as in the laboratory of your destiny. Every tear you shed, every night you spent praying without answer, every doubt that whispered in your mind, all of it is being used to mold you into the person you were always meant to be. In this silence, your character is purified. Old habits are burned away. Fear loses its grip. Desires that do not align with your calling fade. You begin to see yourself not as the world does but as God sees you, chosen, powerful, anointed, and necessary for his plan. This transformation is not instant. It happens gradually, often without you realizing it. You start to think differently. Your reactions change. You no longer seek approval from the crowd because you are discovering approval from the source. You are learning to trust the invisible, to operate by faith, and to walk in confidence even when nothing seems certain. Your spiritual senses are awakening. You can sense truth and deceit with clarity. You feel God's direction in subtle ways, in the quiet nudges, in sudden understanding, in dreams and visions. Your mind, once scattered and anxious, begins to focus. Your spirit, once weak and hesitant, begins to rise. During this season, God teaches you patience. He teaches you perseverance. He teaches you how to stand alone without falling. He teaches you that the power of your calling cannot be hurried or manipulated. You are learning to operate in the supernatural rhythm of God, not the frantic pace of the world. And as you grow, you begin to see the beauty of the hidden process. The moments that once felt like suffering now appear as necessary preparation. The challenges were the chisels shaping your strength. The loneliness was the quiet classroom for your wisdom. Every closed door was a test of obedience, every disappointment a lesson in faith. Transformation within solitude also develops intimacy with God. When no one else is watching, when no applause comes, when circumstances seem unfair, you learn to depend entirely on Him. You discover that He is enough. You learn to pray with persistence, to believe without visible evidence, and to move forward even when fear is pressing. You begin to understand that the presence of God is greater than the absence of people. The transformation is both internal and spiritual. Your heart matures, your mind sharpens, and your soul aligns with the destiny that was waiting for you all along. By the end of this season, you are no longer the same person who entered it. Your past limitations no longer define you. Your brokenness is turned into wisdom. Your pain becomes power. Your silence becomes authority. You emerge stronger, sharper, and spiritually awakened. The world may not notice your growth yet, but heaven has been marking every step. The solitude was not a punishment, it was a workshop. Your transformation within this solitude is the reason why, when God opens the next door, you will step through fully prepared, fully anointed, and fully ready to fulfill your divine purpose. After the long season of isolation and transformation, the chosen one enters a new chapter, the season of revelation and return. This is when God begins to open doors that were previously closed, to reconnect you with people and opportunities that align with your divine purpose. It feels as though the world finally starts to notice you, but what others see as luck or timing is actually the result of years of unseen preparation. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of obedience in solitude is now manifesting. God is revealing what He has been building in secret, and the results are undeniable. Your return is not about going back to who you were, but stepping into who you have become, stronger, wiser, and spiritually awakened. This season often begins subtly. People who once doubted you start to show respect. Opportunities you thought were gone reappear. Doors that seemed permanently closed suddenly open. Situations begin to align effortlessly. You may even experience a reversal of circumstances, debts paid, enemies humbled, dreams restored. This is God's timing. The universe shifts in your favor because you have shifted in your spirit. Everything that was delayed, denied, or dismantled was a setup for this moment. Your return is a testimony of endurance, faith, and divine alignment. In this season, you will recognize the value of the lessons learned in isolation. You will see how every struggle shaped your discernment, how every trial strengthened your character, and how every lonely night prepared you for the light. Relationships that align with your purpose will naturally return. Collaborations, friendships, and divine connections that were meant to be part of your journey will find you. At the same time, people and situations that were never meant for you will remain distant. God will continue to protect your path even as He promotes you. Your revelation is not only external but internal. You begin to understand the depth of your calling. Your gifts and talents, once dormant, now operate with clarity and confidence. You recognize that your influence is no longer dependent on others' approval or validation. You walk boldly, knowing that your authority comes from God alone. Your spiritual insight increases, you see beyond the surface of things and understand the hidden dynamics around you. This clarity allows you to make decisions that align perfectly with your destiny. Finally, this season teaches humility and gratitude. You understand that your breakthrough is not the result of your effort alone but of divine orchestration. You begin to praise even before the manifestation, knowing that faith and patience have led you here. Your return is a living testimony. The world sees your success, but heaven knows the cost of preparation. Your life now serves as an example for others who are still in the silent season, a beacon of hope, faith, and divine purpose. When the season of revelation and return comes, embrace it fully. Walk boldly, speak wisely, and act with integrity. Everything that was hidden is now exposed for glory. Your return is not a reunion with the past, it is a launching into your future. You have emerged from the shadows into your destiny, and everything you were separated from, everything you endured, and everything you prayed for now converges to propel you to the next level of your calling. As you stand at the threshold of your destiny, it's time to realize the truth that transforms every lonely season into a sacred journey: you were never alone. Every tear, every unanswered prayer, every night of silence was accompanied by the presence of God, that He never left you. He never forgot you. While the world saw emptiness, heaven saw preparation. While your heart felt heavy, His Spirit was strengthening you. The separation, the isolation, the trials, all of it was orchestrated by a loving God to position you for greatness. The loneliness was not abandonment, it was divine companionship in disguise. God's presence was the invisible anchor holding you steady when storms raged. When you thought no one understood, He understood. When you felt weak, His strength was being imparted to you. When you doubted your path, His voice whispered guidance. Every moment you felt forgotten was a moment He was shaping your character, refining your spirit, and revealing your purpose. You were walking through life's wilderness, but the light of heaven was always illuminating your steps. Now, as your breakthrough unfolds, the evidence of His faithfulness becomes undeniable. You see the doors opening, the people aligning, and the blessings manifesting. But the true victory is internal. You have learned to trust God without evidence, to walk in faith without applause, and to remain steadfast when circumstances seemed hopeless. That trust has made you resilient, wise, and spiritually mature. You understand that the season of solitude was a classroom, a battlefield, and a sanctuary all at once. Your journey shows others what it means to be a chosen one. Your life testifies that God's timing is perfect, His plans are flawless, and His love is constant. You can now walk confidently, knowing that every step of the journey, every silence, every setback, every lonely night, was a divine step toward your destiny. Nothing in your past diminishes your present, it all serves to elevate you. You are not defined by the people who left, the doors that closed, or the pain you endured. You are defined by God's hand upon your life, the calling He placed in your heart, and the power He has invested in you. As you move forward, remember this: solitude was never your enemy, and separation was never rejection. They were God's tools to reveal your true identity, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for your calling. You were never alone, and you will never be alone. Heaven has always been by your side, guiding, protecting, and nurturing you. The journey of the chosen one is not meant to be easy, but it is always purposeful. Your life is now a living testament that when God separates, He is preparing, when He hides, He is protecting, and when He allows silence, He is speaking. Walk boldly into your destiny, for God has been with you every step of the way, and now the world will see what heaven has always known, that you are chosen, anointed, and unstoppable.